Hello everyone, myself Anirudh Solanki. I am working as an application engineer in Engineering Technique. Engineering Technique is based in Gujarat. We have offices in Ahmedabad, Vadodara and Surat. We are authorized reseller of SolidWorks, and today I am going to showcase xshape in this session and I am very excited about it. So let's get started. So before starting the video, I would like to give you some brief about xshape. So 3D Sculptor is a role in which xshape is, and it is totally browser based app. So you just need to enter your credentials and you can use it anywhere, like from any device. As it is browser based app, one does not require very high hardware to run the app. You can have minimum hardware requirement and use the xshape very smoothly, as it is not replacement of your SolidWorks, but it is surely a complement to your surface modeling. As it is subdivision modeling environment, it works on the actions like push, pull, or we can call it a digital clay modeling for simplicity. In this video, I'll showcase the features about collaborative task, sub-D modeling, which is xshape, and I'll show you how you can collaborate sub-D models with SolidWorks. So let's start. Starting with the first topic, which is collaborative task. That collaborative task is very handy, where one can assign tasks to other employees in organization. As we as we can see, my colleague is assigning a task to me. He has entered the task detail, name, miter saw handle. In collaborative task, we have the functionality, as I said earlier, to assign the members who will complete the task. We also have the field where you can enter the description, where you can specify the details of the task or the project you have assigned. Also, the priority sections is also available, where task completion priority can be applied. And top of that, you can also specify the time limit for the task completion and the reference files if you want to add any attachments, if any. So now he is adding couple of reference sketch for the model, which will be used later on. As we saw how my colleague assigned me a task, so I'll quickly get a notification for the same. Default state of that task would be in to do state, where I can see my time limit in which my task should get completed. Attachments like reference document can be seen here. Simply change the state of the task to in work. Here is the field where I can determine if other people are also involved in the task or not. So let me just add a comment to notify Kiran that I have started working on this task. Now I am in xshape. As I am creating a part, I'll give it a name handle and proceed further. As we are familiar with SolidWorks workflow, where we used to insert the picture as a reference, so we also have the feature here as well. So I'll choose the required feature here as well. So I'll choose the picture of hand sketch for the reference, and I'll give a suitable plane, and yes, and let's okay. So now I'll select the chord ball subdivision shape for the modeling, as it is suitable for my model. So yes, selecting the mid plane, and I'm changing the scale as per my requirement, and okay. So in subdivision modeling in xshape, we can manipulate the shape by very simple actions such as pulling, pushing. We also have the scaling facility, where we can specify the exact value. Yes. So now I will change the transparency to get the reference from my sketch. Firstly, I am going to align my bottom face with the help of quick line alignment. So yes, I'll align the edges to the quick line alignment tool, and I'll adjust it as per my requirement. So as we are familiar with SolidWorks box selection, here it functions same as well. So now with the help of free sketch, I'll align the faces selected and will draw a similar sketch to outer edges. Yes, it perfectly gets aligned with the sketch. Repeating the same process to get close to the shape, and I'll manipulate the shape by pushing it slightly. Here is the robot where I can control my movement by selecting, I'll select XYZ. So just fast forwarding a bit as it is visible by picking correct vertices, edges, faces. I can manipulate the shape as per my requirement, and yes, it is very simple and handy. Okay, so I have completed my right view and now onto top view. So to create a hole, we require to select two exact opposite faces, and I'll select exact opposite faces and I'll extrude it to create hole, and yes, we got the hole we required for a handle. So now I'll create a symmetric condition between ZX plane as it would be perfect for this view and finish it. And yes, I'll select it. I'll align few edges to straighten. So pushing the faces a bit and pulling it and adjusting the hole. So to get the perfect shape. So yes, now I'll jump onto front view. Okay, so now I'll adjust the lower part of the model. Yes, so selecting few faces and pushing a bit to produce the shape of the handle. So now I'll check the shape and will manipulate as per shape requirement. Yes, yes, it is perfectly okay. So the key advantage is by panning and rotating we can review my model and make changes as per requirement. So now yes, it looks perfectly fine, and I'll just close the sub D environment. As I am reviewing my model, I can see that some faces are intersecting, which is not good. Now I'll go back and edit the handle. First, let's review it as a cage surface, as it will give me a overview of intersecting faces. Now I'll turn on mesh inspection to review the intersecting faces. So it gives me a specific color so that I can get exact faces that are intersecting. Okay, so after reviewing the intersecting faces, I'll manipulate the faces by the robot and make sure that it doesn't intersect with each other. To remove the intersecting faces to avoid any error in future, it is advisable that there are no intersecting faces to avoid any errors. And yes, so there is no intersection here, so now it looks perfectly fine, and yes, so it looks pretty good. So let's okay. So now I'll simply add the created handle from the search bar, and yes, I want to open this in this assembly. For the reference purpose, I have already hidden other planes except right plane, and same here as well, selecting both the planes and applying coincident mate as we used to do in SolidWorks. So adjusting the handle a bit to get into the frame by dragging the triad, and yes, adjusting, yes, and perfect. So now I'm going to show you another amazing feature of xdesign. So let's edit this. So now I'm subdividing the faces which are front of the handle. So yes, selecting all of them, and yes, so I will extrude them, and okay, so now I'll crease all the faces which are extruded and up to 100%. Yes, so now I'll align the extruded faces to created plane. So now let me select the faces, and yes, you have to be very careful while selecting the faces, as it is visible I have different option to align the faces to different entities. I'll select align to geometry, and yes, I'll select the plane which I created earlier, and now yes, it snaps perfectly. So yes, adjusting a bit, yes. So now I want to align the edges as well. So selecting the edges, and with the same command earlier, I'll align with the curve. Yes, so yes, this is the desired result which I wanted. So yes, it snaps perfectly to the sketch. Yes, it looks fantastic. So I'll just add appearances and remove the edges. So yes, okay. After working online in cloud apps, the question arises is, can we work with these files in SolidWorks? Now, I'm going to give a small example of seamless collaboration of SolidWorks with 3DEXPERIENCE cloud-based apps. Yes, so here's the SolidWorks window, which is familiar to most of us. So from the task pane in the 3DEXPERIENCE tab, I am going to search my xdesign part which I created earlier, which is handle, and I'll simply drag and drop it. So yes, part, and yes, it has loaded. So notice the part format is changed. So here in SolidWorks, we can apply all the functions on the part with respect to geometrical condition. So now I would like to shell this part. So it will take a few moments to calculate the faces and it will shell the part. Okay. So yes, now it got shelled. So let's see the section view to inspect the result we created. Yes. So it is uniform thickness which I wanted. Okay. Yes. So now to complete whole cycle, I'll come back in the collaborative task. So yes, so let me open the task and put some relevant data like completion percentage and attach the handle and snap of it in assembly. So yes, so the state of the task has changed from in work to complete as it is completed. So thank you so much for watching this session. Hope you liked it and this session provided some value. To watch more content like this on 3DEXPERIENCE as well as SolidWorks, do subscribe to the channel of Engineering Technique.